I think the inflation, the food and energy prices have caused the highest inflation since 1980s. And with the rising government dates, and the created a marketing anxiety. And you are very right to ask this question. It is indeed. And the latest invasion of Ukraine sparked Europe's blood-stained land war since 1945. And we also are updated what's happening around with US and China. Having said that, the global unrest across and post-pandemic, I was reading an article yesterday where IMF has cut its global growth forecast from 3.26%, to 3.26% this year and the next. Thus, a big question. So in that case, in that lot of worry and anxiety, I think we as HR leaders across, I think it has become a problem everywhere, and we need to know how to develop the core competency. Now, the core competency of not only managing the complicated problems, but we need to go towards more of a complexity mentality. Now, when I say about complexity mentality, it's just that most of the HR leaders would have addressed the difficulties described as a problem, resolving the variables and agreeing to a best way ahead. This has been our standpoint yesteryears. But now, post-pandemic, you see, we didn't even know. We were made to sit in our homes. I think it hit by 23rd March, where we decided to close offices. So we didn't know what's happening tomorrow. Now, when we consider that leaders never confronted the pandemic problem, it's evident that they are not just complicated. The problems currently have come up to us is not just complicated. Complicated problems are actually, they are expected problems, but the current call of the time is complex, the unknown. So our way to resolve the problem would be more towards solving the complex or the unknown. So resilience is to develop resilience. Now, what is resilience? We have to handle the unexpected problems. Flexibility in the top reason. Flexibility has to be so good that the workers otherwise they would quit, because most of our human force, most of our human capital, they are now used to working from the remote area. So about 48% of the remote workers in our company are likely to quit just because they are asked to come to office. I had a attrition last year of about 50%, that high. That's because we have called them to come and join office. Therefore, I think what more as HR leaders we need to address is we need to act on the feedback of the people. We need to understand their emotional problems, their other problems, and the culture of recognition has become too important in today's Gen Z or millennials. So how to make them recognized is very important. Then only they will gel in a culture of engagement, and culturally aligned decisions are also very important. So I think these are, and also I have seen that when the manager is supporting, very supportive at work, they understand the emotions of the workforce and they develop friendship at work. The sense of purpose is really important, and that's how I think we can develop and co-create a culture of engagement and help them to, be productive and not get upset. That's what I feel it is all about. The top approaches, moonlighting is in the current scenario, we cannot undermine that. If people are working from home, they might use their official hours. Post that, what they do is not in the control of any organization, so to say, or any policy. They might have their own independent time and they might want to use it accordingly. However, during the working hours and as per the company's policy, that's the top challenge, how the HR or the organization is helping these workforce to keep them engaged. What we have done during the pandemic is we had created some cross-functional teams. What we did is we tried to recognize the champions by their line managers, and we created cross-functional teams where every alternate day in a week, they would connect and understand their problems. So unless there is interfunctional communication, unless there are resolutions of the glitches being addressed by the interfunctional, not only the leaders but also the line below who are helping the leaders to go to that target, I think that the problem resolved as it is. And we the organization, whether working from office or working from home, will keep to retain in their silos. So therefore, the crisp communication, to have a crisp and to have an interconnected, interdepartmental, clear connections, we created the cross-functional teams, which gelled well so much. At the same time, looking at the holistic experience, we always preferred a human-centric approach and the human-centric experience design. So my search has always been whether my staff, whoever the employees are in the organization, are they liking the jobs? What we did is I connected randomly with different departments through the pandemic, and I tried to understand what are their strengths, their opportunities, what they desire, whether they are liking their job. Is there a teamwork? And even if there is a teamwork, what kind of teamwork it looks like? What is their teamwork like? Then how are they engaging? So we created something called confluid. The confluid in French, it means engagement. So how we engaged during the pandemic, and still now this is happening, where once in a month we celebrate the birthdays. But this confluid is not only about celebrating the birthdays, it's about giving the employees a forum to talk, giving them to address. They are coming together across, where they are talking to the line managers, the heads, interfunctional heads, and the CEO and MD, managing director. So that ways they feel that they are important, and they can talk very openly, and we were there to address and try to resolve their problems. So that connection had built in such a way that they felt themselves very important. So making them feel very important is, we think, giving them an experience of center of excellence. And we had developed the digital platform. We have other connectivity where we always address, like for example, if an employee is submitting a request to HR, it may not be only frozen to HR. Like for example, one of our staff came to me and said that I want to quit my job. When going deep dive, we understood that's not that where he is not happy with his job responsibilities, but he is tired because there is no interconnectivity. The business development person comes to me and says, my customer has a problem in their trading transaction, and I do not have anybody. I am not an operational expert. How do I help the person? So then we tried to connect through this cross-functional team where he is helping to do the trade in our transaction over taking the assistance of the operations team. So there might be interconnectivity needed with IT, legal, finance, and this created a proper solutions. And that's how we could engage our people despite the problems, the social problems, and other problems that created suddenly during the pandemic. So therefore, what I feel is building their trust and giving them that platform that the company is always there to resolve your problem, and giving them that free hand to connect with the senior level, whether the CXO level, the MD CEO, in one forum, and connecting with each other, displaying their talent, talking about their moments of truth or their problems, had really helped us company to deep dive through the critical situations and the unpredictable situations. Very good question. And I have a live example. As I told you, my daughter is studying in one of the top premier institute of India, and she is into digital transformation. She has done her master's, and I feel that the question that you have put forth is really very apt. The fresh graduates from the top institutes like engineering or MBA colleges can improve the employability, and how can they do that? I think while they are in internship, experiences come in the form of internship. They can pick up part-time jobs, right? So while they do that, this will help them build on the transferable skills, and I think that will be useful in the future. And I'm seeing that happening in my personal life, in my daughter's career also. So what I would like to say is in the form of internships, the students could pick up part-time jobs, and that's how they can build the skills, and these skills would be transferable, and they may be useful in their future, because what they read is more about the theory, and what the organizations want is hands-on experience. So there is definitely a gap, and this gap can be definitely be transferred by picking up these kind of engagements in terms of internships or part-time jobs. Some people are very passionate about their interests. So, for example, the extracurricular activities like the internships, or maybe somebody may be very high in terms of their let's say somebody is when I say internships, I want to add one more thing, is somebody is very passionate about their website writing, or their communication skills, or their writing skills. So they can be part of the community. They can be a part of their top colleges. They can design their website. Colleges can give them that kind of free hand, and they can be part of website committee. Then they can develop their website. They can post in good pictures. This is how they can nurture their extracurricular activities, and that can become an internship for them. Also, that they should be open for learning new skills, because unless we keep updating ourselves, I think the work will anything would there would be a gap. So therefore open to learning new skills outside the curriculum, outside their course domain. For instance, if you're passionate about photography, pick up some related very nice photographs and take it up as your future career. This will make more employable compared to the graduates, and who knows how they can become famous in they're passionate about what they are passionate about. Therefore, all these things will help increase the employability of the fresh graduates, and they need to keep looking upon what they are passionate about. It's not about only the skills that they learn from the college, it's about what they want to do and how they can plug in that gap. And it's up to you what you can do. It's a fresh white paper, just paint it. That's what I believe is about. Oh, well, a few of the expectations, obviously, as a salaried person, I would want for me and the entire crew of the salary is that the 80C, which allows about 1.5 lakhs every year at the tax ceiling income, and NPS in addition to 80 CCD1B. I think that needs to be increased, If budget could rise, that deduction limit for home loan interest above 2 lakhs would also be wonderful, and that would promote the economic sentiment. So the union budget can expand ATD for ATD provided deduction of about pandemic related treatments for all ages, and investment through NPS would allow more people to access that capital market possibilities. This is one. Second is, I think what can be done is the infrastructure related medical treatment. So during the sad events, we all had relatives, and I myself have seen some of my relatives struggling. They lost their lives struggling for beds. COVID-19 had been very sad for the entire globe. So the absence of infrastructure in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, that has become painfully obvious for all of us. Therefore, the people of the country will be in a better position if the hospitals are improved through public-private partnership by provisions of alluring inducements, such as the investigation of the possibility of tax vacation. That would definitely help. And also that the PLI, widening the PLI program for the potential to bring total exports to an all-time high. So the government might think about expanding the exposure provided by PLI and identify additional emerging business. So the MRO, airspace, warehouse robots, etc., waste management are examples of industries that could be purchased by PLI. And the strategic institutions also, exports play a very important role in today's growth scenario. So shifting the geo-economic. So as India is towards its goal, becoming a major producer of electricity, vehicles, solar panels, aerospace, and the like. So it is essential for the country to recognize that there are many inputs that go into these products. So Budget 23 could consider a specific financial institution, some of the financial institutions, some banks, to meet this overseas needs with governments backing, similar to China banks, etc. And India PSUs and quasi-sovereign institutions could be benefited this way. So these are the few of the things which I was going through various reports and journals, and I think these are very critical, and that would be the expectation from the budget.